All right, guys, we're here again at the Key Largo Volunteer Fire Rescue Museum, and we have a very, very special guest with us today. His name is Bill Lombardo. He has come long and far to help this beautiful community we have here in Key Largo. Bill, thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here. It's an honor.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you came from and how this all transpired.
Sure. So I started in the fire service in 1987 and immediately fell in love with it, and I found my calling.
Right.
And so it was over in Fort Myers. I started as a firefighter with South Trail Fire District.
Nice.
Worked my way up through all of the ranks and ended up in about 2008 as the fire chief. And I served for 10 years as the fire chief. And if you make it through 10 years as a fire chief, you must be doing something right.
100%.
Somebody likes you. So
yes, sir.
I ended up retiring in 2018, moved to the mountains of Georgia. Absolutely loved it up there. And I have a good friend, Jim Angle. Jim Angle has a consulting company called the J. Angle Group. And he called me up and he said, hey, I need some help doing a few things, performance evaluations and so forth. And I said, sure, I'll do a little bit of work for him. Well, he came down here and did a consolidation study for the district to see if the best possible option was to move the volunteer fire department and the volunteer ambulance corps together under the umbrella of the district and provide the service directly instead of contracting with these two private corporations.
Very nice.
So the answer essentially from this report was yes, it is not only doable, but it's recommended. And there were listed in the report ways you could keep the millage rate at a reasonable amount and still provide this service, which is really a better, it's more accountable to the people directly, the people of Key Largo.
Sure.
And so throughout the whole process, he interviews stakeholders to see what are the needs are. And one of the things they identified is they needed someone to come in here as a transitional leadership to transition the district, to serve as a district manager and make this merger happen. So in January, the board voted for it to happen. And I remember talking to Frank Conklin, and he was saying, hey, I'm definitely going to vote for it. But he goes, how are we going to make this happen? And I said, Frank, look at me and say, I move that Bill Lombardo make this happen. And I was like, that's why you're paying me. That's why I'm here.
Right.
And so the board did that. They agreed to it. I think it was unanimous. And since that day, we just started making this happen. And I got to be honest with you, had it not been for the team that's already here, the battalion chiefs, Chief Jones, Chief Sergio Garcia, and Battalion Chief Garrido, and people like Roxy and Adam over at EMS, and the support of the board. Without that, it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
We were able to move forward and move quickly and get this done by July 1st. And
right.
So I really do feel like it was important for July 1st because it gives us the opportunity to set the budget for next year without having three different organizations. Essentially, everybody's merged into one. So I really truly feel like it's good for this community. I feel honored and blessed that I've been a part of this. I really feel like it's been an honor to be here, work with these people, and I am just pleased as punch I can walk away and say I did something good here.
Thank you so much for doing what you did. It was it's so great to have such a fantastic professional coming in from Florida and coming down here to the Keys and helping this community out and doing that. Where do we go from here, Bill? Does now you'll be leaving, I believe it's July 1st?
July 1st.
And then what happens now? I understand somewhat that we have hired a fire chief.
So we have hired a fire chief. Let me just start to say, I was retired before I came back here. And
Sure.
so I feel a little bit like I failed at retirement, which
Gotcha.
And I love everybody. I love the guys like my brother.
Yeah.
But I don't love them as much as my granddaughter and my grandson.
There you go.
It's really the only thing that's taking me away from here is my grandkids and my
Family's
children
number one.
that live in Georgia. So I have to go back. But one of my contractual obligations was to bring my replacement in. And so we had an extensive nationwide search. We ended up, the board chose Jeff Morse, who has 43 years in the fire service. His last several years serving as a battalion chief for Collier County, for North Collier.
Wow.
He has experience as a fire commissioner. He started a not-for-profit called the Brotherhood Ride. He is just a down-to-earth, wonderful person, and I think he's going to fit the personality of this organization. I've said for years that the most important thing for a chief is integrity. Right. You can teach or you can learn anything, but you can't teach somebody integrity. It is my honest opinion that I believe Jeff comes to this job with integrity. There's some things he'll learn as he goes, but the integrity is the most important thing.
Right.
And he's going to watch out for your tax dollars and make sure they're good.
That's awesome. Such a small community here in Key Largo, and the Key Largo Fire Rescue Museum really takes pride in the members that have been here and the current folks that are running the fire department. And we're just so proud to have such an elite team behind, the Key Largo Fire Department. And thank you so much for what you've done and helped us out. We really appreciate that.
It's been an honor. If I can just leave by saying that the boots on the ground, the firefighters, the paramedics, the EMTs in this community are as good as I've ever seen anywhere.
That's
Top-notch
fantastic
people.
to hear.
Top-notch people.
That's awesome. Well, Bill, thank you so much for being here and being on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it, and we really hope that you get to spend some time with your family.
Yes, I will, and I hope to come and visit though.
That sounds good. We'll be here.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much. Take
All right.
care. Bye-bye.